Hello, Pratham. How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for asking. How about you?
Yeah, I'm good too. Can you quickly introduce yourself first?
Yeah.
Oh,
So I am a front-end developer, and I have worked in public recipient for 2 years, and my tech stack includes like React.js, then Tailwind CSS, and also like basic fundamental blocks of web development, that is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And I also have worked on CSS preprocessors like CSS, and like I know the use of tools like Jira and then Figma, and I have worked in an agile environment, and then like I have as a developer, like it was my task to like create new stories, and then uh, I mean implement new features according to the stories, and then fix defects as well. And then I have joined an organization where I could work as an contractor in Accenture, and there also I have worked as a React.js developer. So yeah, that's about me.
okay. So majorly your work is around front-end development only, I
Yeah.
believe.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so this will be purely JS round. Okay, so we will just start. You can share your screen and you can open any JavaScript compiler. Okay, so let's first discuss about closures. You can like simply explain me what are closures and how do we implement normal example of closures.
Okay.
Mhm.
So closure is a concept where in JavaScript the inner function is lexically bound to the its lexical environment, or the inner function has the reference to the outer function variables if those outer function variables are used inside the inner function. So that is what closure is.
Okay, like can we have a small example of it in the code?
Yeah.
Hmm. Can you keep explaining the code as well?
Yeah, so I have defined an function which is outer function. This is the outer function, and then I have defined a variable called count equals to 0, and then I have given a inner function. Okay, so this uses in this inner function we have used the count variable from the parent function. Okay, and
You are
mm,
returning count from the outer function, right?
yeah, I need to return the inner function.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
outer will return the inner function, and I
Okay.
can do the thing. Uh,
Mhm.
and then what I will do is I will call the since output will store the inner function, since out is returning a function, I can call the output, so it will call basically inner function only.
Hmm.
Yeah. Uh,
Okay. So what happens when you call the outer function again? Let's say on line 12, we are calling it again.
Hmm.
So what will be the output of that?
This time it will be 2.
Okay. So, like we are actually returning the inner function and storing it in the outer variable, right? So, can
Hmm.
you explain like how is JavaScript handling count variable? Is it storing somewhere, or how does it remember its lexical scope variable?
So what happens basically is like execution context is created. Okay.
Mhm.
So at first, what happens is like then we have this outer function, and we know that for in case of function, the entire function is stored, and then we can encounter this variable on line number 10, which is output. So we assign undefined. I mean, we not we the JavaScript engine assigned undefined to it. Okay.
Mhm.
So this is done. Then we can see that the this function is called, and we know that whenever a function is called, a new execution context is created.
Okay.
So a separate execution context will be created, and there we will scan through the function, like we will have the count variable equal to 0, and then we will store this inner function. Okay.
Mhm.
But when this will come to line number 7,
Mhm.
when there is a return statement, so what happens, the execution context is destroyed, and the inner function is returned, and we get an anonymous function, and this anonymous function will uh, have the its parents functions variable attached to it. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how it happens, and then uh, this what we stored in undefined in first execution context, this inner will be stored, inner function will be stored in that, and then we come to line number 11 where there is another function call. So during this function call, another execution context will be created of this output, and there we will perform the nitty-gritties or the whatever it is defined in the function, those things will be executed, and then we will get the desired result.
Got
This is
it.
how it is.
Yes. So you said ki when inner function is returned, this count variable is actually attached and returned with it, right?
Yeah.
So let's say on the can you go to line 2, and below that count variable we will have one more variable. Let's say let a equals to 1, or any variable you can.
Okay.
Yes, we have let a equals to 2, but we are not using inside the inner function the
Hmm.
let a variable. So, what do you think? When we return the inner function, will that be also attached to the inner function, or how will it
No,
work?
since the function is not defined in inner function, I mean not function. Since the variable is not defined, or we are not using it in the inner function, so the closure will not remember this variable. So this will be like not used, and it will not get attached with the uh, function that is returned.
Okay. We need to implement a memoize function. Okay. So, like let's say we have a function add. Okay, and you are giving parameters 2 and 3 to it. Okay, and you are
Mhm.
so first it will actually calculate it with the help of the function. But let's say again you are giving add parameters 2 3, so it should actually take it should not execute the function, but it should actually memoize it and give the caching value. So to break down it, you need to create a function memoize, help you in with the thinking part. Function is memoize. Yes. So this is actually taking another function. Let's say we have a add function, right? So it takes that function or callback, whatever, function, and delay. It will take a delay. No, actually just the function, right? because we need to memorize. It will take a function. So we need to execute key if this function is executed already, like something you need to create a object. You can store a key value
Um,
pair, something like that.
any object will work, right?
Yeah.
I've
Hmm.
placed the object.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Huh. So maybe we can create a add function below this and kind of try to understand what we have to do actually. But after the 16th line, you can create like a basic add function. After the 16th line, hmm, takes arguments. Yeah. Hmm. Now, when we call the add, now we will actually give memoized then bracket add kind of that. This is the after this. And memoized
And,
will return a function so you can store it in a variable.
mhm.
No, not this. The memoized 22 line you have to store it in a variable. So I'm just telling you the structure, then you can do the function part. It memoized will only take add, it will not take any other parameters. So you can remove the comma. Okay. Yes. So memoize is
So
taking.
what I remember is like there is a object and there are two conditions that if it will check is that if it is satisfying the condition, then like what the basic principle of memorization is that if the value is already exist, then it will not perform the calculation. So we will check the in the object we will see that whether this thing is there or not. If it is there, then we will perform it, or else we will just return it.
Exactly,
Yeah.
but that object doesn't has to be in arguments, right? Because you will not use further. So that context part
Pass.
you can actually create inside as well,
Mm.
right? So let's first discuss the structure, like what we need, and then we can start the memoirs. So memoirs add is there. Then when you call the result, can you come to 23rd line?
Mm.
Yes. Yes. So memoize function returned a function, right? So when you call the result, you have to call it with arguments. So you can write result bracket 2 comma 3. So this should actually calculate it. And if you do this again, result comma 2 comma 3, can you copy this again on the 24th line?
Mm. So caching will be there, so it will not perform that. Okay.
Exactly. This should come from cache. So this is kind of the structure. Now we just need to implement the memoize function. Yes, we have a context. It
So
returns the
context.
function. Hmm.
Um,
Yes.
it can be anonymous, right? Uh,
Yes. Can be anonymous.
So, um,
So whatever function you are returning, it may have arguments, right? Hmm.
I will check that if there is anything in the context object.
Yes. But like you have to store check the key value pair, right? Yes, right, right. Continue.
Shall it, what should be the condition like empty
This is
context of
it. If context of key, then this is it. It will
ah,
tell
so,
you key the key is there or not.
key object is empty or not? Okay, okay.
No, like you have to define key before the if
Oh,
statement, right? What should be the keys? So what are you trying to store inside as a key value pair? You have to think about it. The arguments or what do you want?
arguments,
Ah,
arguments. Yeah.
right. So how will we store the arguments? We cannot just store the arguments, right? We need to convert it to something. So can you tell me, in an object, key is what data? Like key is a
String,
string. So
string.
we need arguments as strings. Got so how can
JSON dot stringify.
yes.
It should be also spread. No, I think.
This is correct. So context of keys, it will
If context of
hmm. So this will basically fetch from the cache, right? If it is
hmm.
already present, yes.
But how to add them?
Context of key, you can just return it. So this is like we are just checking if it already exists. Else, if it's not exist, then we will
Perform the addition.
hmm. Then you have to actually execute the function, right? Maybe you can create a variable let result and execute the function which is there in the
FN.
yes function with the arguments. What are the arguments? A
To write a
no, you have already defined no, on 16th line. You just have to spread the arguments.
um,
Hmm.
so I'm calling this function and that's it I think.
So, you can store it in the cache and return the result. So, result of, uh, I mean that what is context of res- you have to store that in the cache, right? After 24.
Uh,
Yeah.
so it is a function. I have the so context.
Hmm.
I can run a loop. How to store this in the objects?
Context of key. equals result. So see, we are already converting that arguments into stringified format in the key part, right? That's
Mhm.
why,
So
okay.
like if there are multiple arguments like 2, 3, 4, each time this will happen.
Yes, each time this will work because we are spreading the arguments and we are stringifying the argument. So whatever arguments, let's say five arguments are there, that will get stringified.
Okay.
Let's try to run it. It's
Sometimes.
not. Can you put like consoles in if and else so that we can know from where we are getting
Uh,
from cache or we are getting from the yes console. Here actually for cache here that.
and the next will be not cache.
Hmm. Also we
I
have to
think
console. Hmm. Perfect. This works fine. Okay. So your next question is, can you apply a bind polyfill? You know about bind in JavaScript?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So can you first explain simply what is bind and how do we use it, and then we will move to the polyfill part.
Okay.
Hmm.
So bind is a methodology. For example, there is the object, right? And then we have a function. So suppose we have not written the function inside the object, so the object will not have I mean, the function will not have the context of this object. So what we can do is we can bind the method to the object, and then uh, it is very similar to the call, but the only difference is that it returns a new function.
Hmm.
And in bind also we can pass the new arguments. And first we can have something like this. The syntax is suppose
Okay.
I am considering a
Maybe
variable.
maybe you can implement bind small example.
Okay.
You'll be able to explain properly then. Can you keep explaining what you are
Yeah.
doing?
So
Hmm.
I'm currently creating an object.
Hmm.
uh, yeah, this will work. Okay, then I will create a method.
Hmm.
I will use the backticks, and then I will use the template referrals,
Hmm.
and then I can say something like that.
Okay.
Okay. So result is equal to, first I will need to mention the method name, and then I can pass this thing, the object.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what will happen with this?
So if I did not use bind, then undefined would be printed. Undefined is the name of the city. Since this function does not have the context of this object, but after this, we will get to see the result.
Okay, what is bind method returning?
It bind method is returning a new function only.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I will try to create the policy.
Can you execute this thing? Like result, then what happened? You have to execute the
Hmm.
result, no? Hmm.
There is a problem with O and my keyboard. Yeah.
It returned a function, but how can I check the console? Can you execute the function? Hmm.
Hmm. Undefined. Why is undefined getting printed?
Oh, I mean 43 line is correct, no? Oh, you got the New York from the
Yeah,
object?
it's not returning anything. That's why it is undefined.
Yes, exactly.
Uh,
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, this works. You can continue with the polyfill part. And keep explaining whatever you are doing.
yeah. So I can attach the prototype with like three main data types like function, array, and object, and we can like with this we will be able to
Hmm.
say that what, since bind is a function only, so we are just defining that what type of our custom bind will be. That's what it is.
Hmm.
In case of map and filter and reduce, we use array, so that is my
Right.
bind. Yeah.
Hmm.
So it will have a object at first, and then it will have the arguments that we are expecting. Okay. Okay. So we need to check that this whatever function we provide, whether it's a function or not. If not, then we need to throw an error. So I will write the condition that type of, oh,
Hmm. Yes.
so it always returns a string.
Hmm.
So we need to mention it accordingly. The type is not function. Ah,
So type is not function, right?
Yeah,
So check the condition. You have written equals function.
yeah.
So if it's function, it should
Not equal to, not equal to, not equal.
yes. That's what. Okay. Hmm.
Now what we will do is I will attach the this with this. Uh, Here I am declaring not declaring, like I am specifying a method in the context object, and
Okay.
I can set it to this. Okay,
Oh,
and
so in context is a object, right? So
yeah,
are you kind of trying to set a key value pair inside it?
not a key value pair is basically I am just first I am like providing providing a relationship between the object and the function.
So context is a object, right?
Context is the object and fn is the method of that context.
Yes. So no, initially context object is empty, right?
Yeah, yeah,
So you are doing context dot fn. So what
yeah.
does that mean? What are you trying to do with that?
So yeah, in the context object there is a method called function.
You have just created the method on 53rd line, right?
Yeah,
So fn, we can say that fn is a key only, right? So you are
yeah.
doing
That we
nothing,
can say.
you are doing nothing but setting a key value pair
Yeah,
only, right?
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Hmm.
So since our bind always returns a new function, we need to
Hmm.
mention that.
Okay.
So return. Otherwise, we will not get the expected behavior.
Hmm.
Uh, New works, return function new works, and then we will call this function method in the object, and we will set the arguments, and we can pass the new arguments as well. During calling, we can pass the new arguments as we want. So this is done. This is done. Yeah.
Hmm. I think you can just try to implement it now.
Mhm.
So on
So
the you can copy the 46, 47 line and
uh,
convert bind to. Or can you convert it to my?
my bind.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Perfect. Okay, let's try.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I want to explain one thing. Like we have given this new args, okay, but here we are not passing anything.
Mhm.
So we could do this as well, like create another variable, then we could pass something here, and so this would
You
fine.
can show that, like, pass some arguments there, and let's check that. Mhm. Why are you creating there? Like, can I just create a argument in the get city function? And then can we check that test
Mm.
case key if we give a argument then
Yeah, that's the way to do
mm,
it. No, it would not be this.
hmm,
So since we are not clicking this value from the object, that's why it is not this. We are just considering this parameter.
hmm,
So
right.
yeah,
Perfect, that works fine. Yes, Pratham, you can stop sharing your screen.
okay.
Yeah, so you did a great job. You were able to solve memoize and bind function, but I would recommend one thing is ki spend more time on syntaxes part and increase your typing speed
Uh,
during, if it's like an actual interview. And also, I was pointing out that you have to keep explaining. But if you are in a real interview, interview won't say ki you have to explain, right? So,
okay.
yeah, you have to be a little conscious in an interview कि I have to explain whatever I am typing. Apart from this, it was really Pratim, would you like to advise anything who is actually preparing for the front end role as a fresher since you have 2 years of experience?
Yeah, what I find now is very challenging, like to be honest, like I am from electronics background, so in my college days, I did not do DSA, to be honest. So now I mean, there is a sharp difference. Like I was given interview in September 2023, that period. During that time, no one was asking DSA, only front-end concept, that's it. But nowadays, I come across each and every interview, they are asking DSA. Specifically, I will tell you about my last experience, in React, I everything did well. I mean, they could not like, there was not a single question which I could not mm,
Mhm.
perform or give answer to. Then they what they told me, okay, merge the two arrays, okay, and then implement the sort, but don't use sort functionality.
Right.
So since I did not do DSA, I am not aware of that bubble sort and those
So
quick sort, math sort. Yeah, that
the question was asked in JavaScript.
Yeah, yeah, in JavaScript, yeah, obviously. They said that, I mean, all the React questions were done. Then they just told me to like implement a function where two arrays will be merged, and then you will have to implement the sort. Okay.
Mhm.
So I said I did that thing using spread operator, the merging part, and then like I'm not able to do it. So I asked that whether I could do it with the inbuilt sort functionality. They said no. So I was a bit disappointed, but I could not do.
Mhm.
Like within 10 minutes, the rejection mail came. Although like I answered everything in React. So it has become extreme. Like it's a filter nowadays in front-end development as well. So I would advise everyone to like take DSA seriously. If they are freshers, obviously you have time. But if you are working professional as well, you need to learn DSA. There is no other option.
So, from your experience nowadays, for a front-end developer, at least easy to medium questions they should
Uh,
know, like
at least,
standard
hmm.
essay question.
Yeah,
Hmm.
like you have to prepare. Like if you're targeting product-based company, then there is no limit. But if small startups also, like there is a concept, a pre-notion that startups don't ask a DSA. They are only concerned about development. But through my experience, each and every startup I have given interview, they are asking in DSA. Yeah, like those array questions, string questions, and also the custom implementation, not the inbuilt functionality, but custom implementation they are asking. So I would suggest
Like
everyone to like,
polyfills are again kind
ah,
of essay only, right? We are
yeah,
actually
yeah,
implementing it.
yeah, yeah.
Right. Okay, Pratham, thank you so
Yeah.
much. for your time and actually coming up and taking this mock interview.
You're most welcome, Rohani.